What's cracking? You already know what it is, and like I always say, ain't nothing new under the sun. So yeah, we're gonna actually hop into this and get straight into this. This is actually an installment of David versus Goliath, me versus NYU Langone. And actually what we're gonna be getting into is gonna be one of the early meetings that I had when I first realized what was really going on, and then I realized that I was being gaslit and basically played with like I was stupid by John Salvatore, as I call him, old Johnny Boy, and Jennifer DEI Gallinaro, Mrs. I got my job because Debbie Newman said that the person that actually should have gotten it because they had 10 years of experience and also applied when she had none, but he was outright told by Debbie Newman that his accent was too thick. And she and other members of management were worried that the other staff wouldn't be able to understand this individual. But these are the type of things that NYU Langone allows to continue to happen, because when I sat down with Jose Labraca, as you've heard him before say about one of my coworkers, does she even know that she's Hispanic? And as I let you hear later on, he proceeded to carry on with that conversation. But anyways, let's stick to topic. So yeah, we're gonna run this audio back and just really pay attention to what's being said. And you know, it's funny because people will always tell you what they're really thinking, how they really feel, even when they don't realize that they're doing it. You just have to really listen to the words. So I told them what they were doing. They told me they weren't, but you'll hear them telling themselves. And you know, it's funny because it's the people that actually have no legal standing in this country that do the things like this. Like, just imagine, Johnny Boy, if I acted on the things that you used to walk around work bragging about, because you know the boy's been very, very busy lately. But yeah, we're gonna spin the block on this and then close out in a few minutes.
Alright, so we just wanted to touch base. You may have talked to Elliot about it a little bit, I'm not sure.
Not
But,
really, because I try to stay out of anything else political in this place now. I'm on my business.
That's what?
So I try to stay out of anything political in this place now.
Oh, okay. I don't think this is political. But anyway, we were just gonna provide some feedback that we've noticed, that other therapists have noticed, other staff have noticed, and came to us about. So we're just relaying the feedback about. It just seems like there's been an increased pattern of you and Elle talking during work on the floor. I'm not saying you can't talk, but it just seems to be a little bit excessive. So we just wanted to kind of talk it out and provide that for you.
What's the term excessive?
It's hard. It's just, it seems like many times during the day, whether you're on the same side or not, I don't have a hard objective number for you, but it seems like you guys are talking more frequently.
Is the quality of work being affected?
I think the thought is that, like, and just to say, like, you know, I know where you're coming from, like, what's excessive, you know, and that's hard to measure because we don't have anything, but I think, like, when we were talking to Elle, we generally don't investigate something when somebody just mentions something, right? Because
like
we're like a one-off, because we're not micromanagers. We don't feel like we need to be micromanagers and go out there and, you know, ask people about things that just happened once or twice. But it seems like it's become a pattern, which is why we investigate it, because other people have mentioned it. You know, managers and other people from the staff, and that's why we're just making you mindful of it. Yeah.
If someone's mentioning that, and they have not mentioned how much Kenny and Cam, because Kenny will come in here when he gets in at 12, will bypass this side, will come in after he clocks in, go in the office, get his stuff, walk the floor, grab his cup, go get ice, come back on the floor, and he will head up north or wherever Cam is at when they're on the opposite sides, because they're on the same shift. And we'll be there for 30, 40 minutes, sometimes almost an hour. In the afternoons, I know for a fact, because the way the computer's broken up, it's broken up into 7 letters, right? If you look at the thing, I have 1 handroom day, 2 north side days, and 4 south side days. Which means that everyone on staff, I'm on the south side the most, and I work middle shift, which means I'm always on the computer. when I'm down there, no one says anything. Because if they're actually saying that, then why is nobody complaining when they're up there, especially in the afternoon? I'm down there on the computer by myself, cleaning beds, doing game ready, everything else. So if they're seeing me and him and I talk, because we only speak on the off times, for those reasons. Because people need game readies, beds got to be clean, somebody's got to do it because people don't normally talk. So we talk on the off times, and then we break and go do what we have to do, whether we're on the same side or not. Now if they say I'm not doing my work, and ever since I left, because why? I went out and everything that I had was going through, and then I had my surgery, I specifically stayed. I came back on something completely different. And I'm making sure that I maintain that no matter what. So let's see, my work is suffering, let me know. But if they're telling me that it's excessive, I just needed to know what excessive is. Because I know what I'm doing. And I know what I see. And I'm not doing anything compared to what they're doing.
Do you feel like it pulls you away from your side when you're having conversations?
No, because I know how this floor works. I've been doing this for about 10 years now. Over the 10 years we've been doing this. Just like the other day when you came out. The only reason that I was even over here for real is to get tablets to the front desk. Because I'm pretty much the one that walks around, grabs all the tablets, takes them out. As I'm out there, patient comes in, patient's late, treatment's paper. It was paper. Anyways. So they're like, they're about to call the radio. I'm like, yo, I'm right here. So I walk in, I told him, patient just got here, yeah. Oh, all right, check him in, bring him in. So I'll get him, bring him back in. I was taking him up there. Ellie was cleaning the floor, because Kenny was talking to somebody on the game ready. And he's like, no, just put him over here, right here. Just put him in her student, Luke's working was right there. So I put him down there. He literally said something to me. I cracked a joke or something. We started talking, and he came up and said what he said. And I know it bothered him, but I told him, get upset for what? I mean, there's nothing, at this point, I've realized that we all see what we see through the lens that we reject. There's nothing I can do about that anymore. Yeah. And I'm not gonna get upset about it anymore either.
Okay.
It ain't changing nothing. So, but I mean, if there's a hard line which you can tell me what is considered excessive, I will make sure not to cross that line.
Yeah, I don't think there is, because that, like we told Elle, not like we don't want people to talk to each other, I mean, you guys communicate all the time, or talk to each other. It's not like we want you guys to stop talking to each other. I think it's just, recognizing when, you're in deep conversation and it's been a little bit, to be mindful to stop, take a walk around, see if anybody's missing anything. Because I think too, you can be in a deep conversation and not notice that something needs to be done or whatever. But the only reason why we bring this up is because, again, this is something that more than one or two people have brought up, and so they're seeing this increase in conversation and deep conversation, and so that's why we're bringing it up. Because if somebody else brings something else up to us, whatever, if you guys bring up the cream sticks and stuff like that, people leave it, we have to address it. So we address it with, if you can tell me who it was, a lot of times you can't, so we address it to the staff. So that's why what I'm saying is that this isn't something that just Jenny saw and she wanted to tell you about it. This is something I think that the staff in general,
and that's what I'm saying though. But if the staff is telling you this, and they're not complaining about that right there, which far exceeds the amount of time that him and I speak with one another, and it affects workflow, because I'll be down here by myself in the afternoon. That's what I've been complaining about the whole time. Remember, this is how all of this with me started anyways. Because what was happening in the afternoon and what was being addressed and what wasn't. And I felt like something's not right here. I'm being picked on and singled out or whatever. I specifically said that to everybody. And here we are again talking about excessive talking. But I can point to instances, whether it's on this side or that side, y'all have even been talking to them. And they're up there together. So if you're telling me that the therapist, so who's saying this thing? That's my question. Because we all know for a fact, they sit up there and they talk way longer. Because him and I purposely break. And in fact, you can even ask James. Me and Elliot actually had words one day because he wanted to talk about something. And I said, bro, you on your way to lunch? I'm going to be here by myself. Just go ahead and go, let me do this. We'll talk when you get back. James' patient got next. And James will tell you, I actually came to him, pull him to the side and apologize because I was like, yo, this is what we normally do. If one of us starts slipping, we remind the other one. And Elliot's almost like a robot like that. Like there's just certain things that like his plot he just does on automatic. So sometimes we can be talking in a certain time. I don't know if it's an internal thing. I don't know if he sees up the corner of his eye, but he'll be like, yo, be right back. Hold that thought, and boom. So if they're saying that we're talking too much, but no one's complaining about that, then maybe people are not paying attention to, or they're paying attention to what they want to pay attention to. That's all I can say. But if you give me a line of what's excessive,
Yeah.
I will make sure not to cross it. I don't know what else I can do or say. I mean, are they saying that is the work not getting done?
So I'm not out there, you know.
No, I'm
I
saying
don't come out there and say, oh, okay, they're talking, let me time it, and you know, and then see what's not being done or not.
But what you're telling me is that they're telling me that we're talking too much. So if they feel like we're talking too much, then it's affecting them in some way.
Yeah.
If my work's not getting done, then it's affecting me, and it's affecting patients. So then, then you know what? At some point, then I have to look at myself and be like,
I don't know.
I
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if the answer is. I don't know what the answer is to that. If the work isn't getting done.
So they're not complaining about work.
Because
they're
I'm
complaining
not
about two people having a conversation. So, but if my thing is, if you're supposed to be practicing medicine and stretching people, why are you watching us talk? See what I'm saying? I mean, if they were really, if they're with the patients doing what they're doing, because we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, because they're not complaining about workflow.
But again, I don't think it again, like we're concentrating on the therapist, and I think that's just one piece of it, right? And so there's others, right?
So even the others,
right?
Are they complaining about the level of work? That's what I'm asking. That was a question. But the others that, not the therapists, the others that are complaining about the excessive talking.
Well, so not specifically that a bed isn't made, but in other words, that if you're talking, then you're not working.
But if everything is done and the beds are clean, and patients are being worked on by the therapist, if we've cleaned the side and there's no game raising anything to do, really we're waiting for instruction from the therapist, right? So again, because I'm trying to quantify what they said to me, and logically make it make sense. Because if you tell me I'm speaking excessive, but the work is not,
why we don't
suffering.
know that? We don't know that.
But that's my point, though. You know, but if they're coming to you and they're complaining, saying that we're talking too much, then what is the basis of your complaint? Are you complaining because you see two people talking?
But if you're talking that much, right, then if you're talking that much, then how much work is being done?
Well, again,
you know what I'm saying? Like that, I think
John,
that's
how does the gym work, John? I can't clean the bed if someone's laying on it.
I understand, but there's always something to be done in the gym.
Let me tell you something. You ask any of them what I'm supposed to be doing or what I'm supposed to do, be done. If it's not, let me know and I'll correct it. But if they're not telling you that it's not affecting the work, because any of them will tell you, but I've told everybody, whatever happened in the past, I can understand how it may have indoctrinated your mind, just like things have indoctrinated my mind.
Yeah.
Because that's how the world works.
Right.
I'm like, but I'm on a new page, new person. Don't ever hesitate to come tell me whatever you need. Even if you see me talking to somebody, my job comes first.
Right.
I've told them all that. As far as I can see, nobody came and started asking me for anything. Now, whether they're telling me or if they have issues, that I can't say.
Right.
But my thing is that if you're telling me that they're complaining that him and I are talking too much, if it's not affecting our work and what needs to be done, why do they care?
I have a question for you. If you're talking and it pulls you away from your side, do you feel like that affects
I don't ever
your
leave my
ability
side until the off times.
But how do you know that someone might not need something during those times?
That's what the radios are for. And not only that, if I leave my side, whoever I'm working with is on that side. And the only time that I even stop to talk to them is when I'm making my rounds to go drop off, whatever. And I'll come back, boom, boom, boom. All right, you know what? Oh, it's that time. Then you go back up there. Like I say, you're telling me that people say that we're talking too much. But I see Kenny and Westcom talk all day, and Kenny don't be on his side for hours. I've seen it happen for over an hour before. Because I was on the opposite side by myself. But I don't hear them complaining about that. And that's affecting work because it's affecting me. And I don't know how many times I've said this whole process has been affecting my mental. From the time that I got diagnosed with depression and everything else, and I started getting myself together with going to rehab and all that shit, I've been saying all this over and over and over and over and over. And here once again, I'm being told that I'm doing something wrong excessively, but nobody can tell me what's wrong with what I'm doing, how it's affecting the whole. I mean, is my work falling off? Has his work fallen off? Because I can tell you who's not working, and the therapist can tell you who's not working.
So if you're telling me there are others on the team that's affecting the workflow, if you're saying that Kenny and Cam are excessively talking, then we can speak with them too.
But see, that's not even my point. My point is that half the time when they're talking to somebody, they're sometimes talking to one of y'all on one of those sides. And Kenny and them will be sitting up there, sitting on the thing up there, and y'all be up there all talking. But that's my point. Nobody seems to care about that. So if you're telling me I'm talking too much, my work's not suffering. And when he's up there talking with all of y'all grouped up, and I'm down here by myself doing all the work by myself, where's the difference? See what I'm saying? But no one's talking about that.
I think that, like, the thought is when you're talking like that, other work is being missed.
So that's my point again.
Yeah.
If Kenny's up there talking to Cam and one of y'all stop by and have a 30, 45-minute conversation with them, and they're supposed to be on this side, I'm down here by myself, and what's getting done? Or it doesn't matter because I'm doing it. Is that what you're telling me?
No, that's what I'm saying. If you're telling me that's a problem, then we can address it with them too.
But if you're telling me that everyone else is telling you that it's a problem that him and I are talking, and they're coming to you all that this is a problem, if that's been going on far longer, because him and I didn't talk for a long time because of what I was going through in here. And that never stopped. So how has that never become an issue and all of a sudden this is? But no one can say that our work is suffering. That's my point. How long have we been here and people have always complained about certain people's work ethic in here? You see what I'm saying? When it was mine, like you said, I had a bad year because I was going through some shit, right? You hearing complain about my work anymore? I mean, honestly, if you are, let me know. But you hearing any complain about my work anymore? So I just said I'm speaking excessively, but other people still sit at computers all day and don't do nothing. I mean, what am I supposed to think? And I understand people, like I always say, we see what we want to see, we do. Just like I could be seeing only what I want to see. I could be completely crazy right now. Well,
yeah, I think it's about perspective. I think it's about perspective and what people perceive to be what's going on.
And that's why I'm asking you,
right?
Is anyone complaining about my work?
I think it's in the matter of when you're talking, then other things can't.
But if everything
get
is
done.
already done.
But things come up, Hamadi. I think that's the point.
And
it doesn't.
Exactly. But if something comes up,
gym.
this is what you guys gave us these radios for. And if somebody needs anything, that's what we have these for. They work. Use it. Oh, I need some help. I tell them, you ain't even got to say pardon me. Because if we're having a personal conversation or we're just talking about something that may happen at work, but we're not talking pertaining to what the actual job needs to be done at hand, and you need some help right now, you can just come up and let me know what you need. Because that takes priority, because right now I'm getting paid.
Right.
Exactly. So that's why, and they all know that. So when you're telling me that, and I'm saying, okay, if they feel like we're talking too much, is the work suffering? Because if everything they need is done, the beds are clean, the floor is clean, and when they need Gatorades and everything else that we're supposed to do is being done, what's the problem? Because I don't hear nobody saying about that. And I've been saying that it was affecting workflow. And how many times have I said that? And for how long have I said that? And nothing was ever done, right? Because every time, the last conversation we had in here, and I said I wasn't even following up on a complaint. I just needed to take my 5-minute step away joint, right? That old boy said we could have, right? 5 minutes decompress right quick. But it was forced to become an issue, and then look what happened. Everything all over again. And I said then though, but we keep having the same conversation. Nothing's being done, right? So what does that tell me?
Well, no, I mean I think things were done. We had the meeting. I mean that's a big deal to bring in HR and have the meeting.
We've had those meetings all the time sometimes. And it's the same thing every time.
Yeah, but I thought that you even thought that it was helpful.
No? Well, no, this one because it seems like it's the first time. But again, like I say, you know what? Maybe I'm just talking crazy. If you know what? If you can't see in the moment what's happening, then maybe down the line something else will help you be able to see it. I can only say so much, but I know what I'm experiencing. I know what's going on at it. But hey, it is what it is. So just let me know what excessive is, and I'll make sure not to cross that line. But again, if they're complaining about my work, I need to know that as well so that I can correct that. But I know when certain people are stressed, I know things aren't getting done. Because I've been on the north side when they're talking, and people from down here come up here asking for help, and have come to me to do it. So in the future, I'll be like, you know what? Not my side. I'm not gonna do it anymore. Because I'm just making sure that's protocol is correct, since I am on that side, right?
But you can help other sides if needed.
That's why I'm in here right now. That is why I'm in here right now. I'm being told I talk too much to somebody. But there's no complaint about work. You see what I'm saying? So I'm out here just
but being in here is not something that's isolated to what happened yesterday. It's the culmination of the pattern that has occurred. Because what happened was, just to give you some perspective, that conversation with Elle yesterday about the two of you talking often was not supposed to take place yesterday. It just happened to come up. And I was actually going to bring it up with Elle during our mid-year review. And so it happened to come up because you were on the side and you were talking to Elle, but it wasn't that we planned to have that conversation.
No, I understand
with
that,
so,
you do realize no matter when the conversation was had, the response is going to be the same.
No, I understand, but my point is that, like, you're not in here because of that incident that's we want to, you know, that's the only time it happened. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in here because you've been told that there's a pattern of us excessively talking.
Right.
And I'm asking, along with that pattern, if that's what they're perceiving, because they don't seem to perceive anything else.
Yes.
Is there a lack of work? Has the quality of work fallen off is what I'm asking. Are they complaining about the quality of work?
When you're talking in those heated, or not heated, but those in-depth conversations, then other things don't get done. Because you can think everything is taken care of, but it's so fluid. And things come up.
And again, I understand
that's my answer to that question. And
again, though, I stated before we even engage in that, we make sure everything that's done needs to be done. It's done. The therapist also knows, if you need anything, I got 2 of these. Use them. That's what God gave them to us for. And that's what this is for. So that we can communicate. Let me know whatever you need. And I've told them all that.
Do you feel like if two people are in a conversation, it's that inviting to have somebody come and interrupt?
They do it all the time to us. Oh, I need such, 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 such. Oh, matter of fact, a lot of them be like, oh, excuse me, pardon me. I'll be like, listen, you just talk about bullshit. What you need? You ain't got to say nothing. We're on the clock. Let me know what you need. I'm on it. But that's why people ask you, are they complaining about work? Because I've been complaining about work, right? I've been complaining about workflow and being on the floor by myself, right? And the last time we had a conversation about this, I was told, oh, well, you learn dig and deal with it.
You've been complaining about the radio, correct?
No.
That flow?
That's part of work, yeah.
Yes,
but it's not just that, because
but
things aren't getting done. And I said, I'm tired of apologizing to therapists because someone else is dropping the ball and not doing their job. Have I not said that?
And we've been addressing those, though, with the Maggie. Are you talking about Maggie specifically?
No, I'm talking about in general. I'll tell you something, too. That's another thing. This turned into a Maggie issue because I used her as a way to prove what I was saying. Just like how right now I'm using Kenny and Westcom as a way to paint a mental picture of what's really happening. But nobody's getting it. But trust me when I tell you, there's going to be a point where things won't start clicking. And when I tell you, I know I'm not tripping, because you're sitting here telling me that they're telling you that you're talking too excessive, but you can't give me a definite line of what excessive is so that I know not to cross it, so I don't have to come back in here. But then you can't even tell me that our work is lacking when we all know for a fact that there are people who don't be on their sides and it affects the workflow. Because you see, when you came over here, if somebody wasn't running their mouth, because they didn't, from what I understand, they didn't put the game ready on the patient because somebody else did it. Remember, we just came back down, right? So that means you're over there excessively talking. But if you would have been listening, you would have knew somebody needed attention, and you needed your other team buddy was cleaning the tables that needed to be cleaned because you wasn't cleaning. So I would have even had to come out from the front desk to even stop over here because I was up there anyways. I'm not even supposed to be down here answering nothing about the radio, right? But I had to because somebody else. You see what I'm saying? You see and if I'm telling you this, it's how it played out, and can't nobody deny it.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that they're telling you that there's a problem with my work. You're just telling me that they don't like who I talk to.
Well,
no, that's not
true.
what it's being.
It's not who you're talking to.
But then I complain about me talking to nobody else?
Yeah, but it's not who you're talking to. It's not about that.
But that's the only person I really talk to.
Right,
so,
but that's not
so
what they're observing.
Why if I'm up there and the days I work with Dan, I'm talking to Dan, no one has anything to say?
Because it's not, well, To a certain degree, yes, it has something to do with L because
But you
You
just
talk
said,
to-
and
Talk to
see,
him the most, but it's
Because
not
you
because
talk to
it's
him
and
the
that's
most.
my. It don't
Right.
make
It could be anybody, though.
You know what y'all are saying right now?
It could be
Because I
anybody.
talk to him the most.
Yeah.
Maybe because we just have a bond. Do you
Yeah.
have bond with certain people that you
That's
talk to a
fine.
lot?
Yes.
So you telling me that every therapist in here talks to each other therapist the exact amount of time?
No.
So who cares if I talk to him a lot? Is my work failing? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't, when
And
I'm
that-
out there.
And that's my
when
point.
I'm-
So they're complaining
but-
about who I'm talking to and not the quality of work.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you, John?
No. So, but here's the thing. But I don't know. I don't know if the work is suffering because
They would
if
have. That's the
people-
thing, though.
but
If it
people-
was, that would have been their justifying reason to come to you with that bullshit, anyways.
I understand.
They're talking too much and they're not doing their job. That's the reason to pull me in here. This is crazy. This really is crazy, man. Come on, John. And you just said it. You just heard yourself. Like, no, it's not. So and you said, as I said, does it make sense to you? And you said no. So think about that. It only makes sense to you when I say it that way, right? But I'm supposed to always have to sit here and listen to shit that don't make sense. And then when I react a certain way, I'm looked at as I'm being crazy. No, I'm not being crazy. I've been saying the same thing for months, over and over and over and over and over. Nobody wants to listen. And it's the same thing happened right now. Because you're not telling me that my work is suffering, you're not telling me I've done anything wrong for real, except for who I choose to talk to and who I don't choose to talk to.
It's
It's not about who you choose to talk to.
He
Mark.
just said it
It's
is
a
about
length-
it.
it's- but
He
no,
literally
well,
That's
just
who you
said
talk.
because
No.
it's the length of time you talk to him. Like you can talk
But if
to
my job is
Dion
getting done,
and
and that's,
to,
but that's my
but that's what I'm
point, though.
saying. So that's why I'm saying.
So then
like,
tell me what's the
Yeah.
tell me what the proper length that I can talk to that human being, and I'll make sure that when I'm on NYU's clock, I won't cross that.
Well, I
And
think
then- and-
yes.
and
When everything's
also-
whenever. Go ahead.
Whoever it is who has this complaint, please go to them and find out if my work is suffering, because I'm gonna need something to quantify and validate
Yeah.
why I'm being put on a timer with how long I can talk to this human being. And if my work's not suffering, I'm sorry, but that's not a valid reason. And I don't mean to be rude if you're perceiving it that way.
No,
this
listen,
is
but
crazy.
and again, it's not. I think when you're at work, right?
Mhm.
Yes, we all allowed to talk with each other. Absolutely, we want people to talk. We're not saying you can't talk to each other, but in the same vein, if you talk to upper level management or you talk to somebody, you know, like you don't get paid to talk. You get paid to work, right? So if you're talking
But and that's my point.
excessively,
And that's my point, though,
no, wait a
John.
minute. Let me just finish.
My job's
If everything,
being done.
if everything is done, but you still, but like Jenny's saying, the place is fluid. So just
Mhm.
because the work is done at that minute, it doesn't stay done, right? So it deserves a walk around, or maybe
And that's
you
the
walk.
thing.
You know what I'm saying?
You
So
and I
I think
are doing
that's
that.
the thing.
Let one of them tell you that they don't see me walking around this gym, picking
Right.
up tablets, doing shit that on the side I don't belong on. But ask them how long they see them talk either up there or down there and nobody moves.
All right. So
And
you
I've
know,
seen it for longer than an
Well-
hour.
We'll talk to
We'll-
the rest
we'll
of them.
talk-
No,
we'll
you
talk
don't
to the
gotta
rest of them,
because
and
you're
we'll
already
talk
talking
to
to me,
them.
And
but
we'll-
you can't give me a
and we'll-
justifiable reason of why you're saying
Amadi,
this.
Amadi, we're gonna talk to the rest
And
of
see, now
them.
you're trying to patronize me. That
I'm not
Hamadi.
trying to patronize
No, because
you, but I'm just trying to get a point out. We'll talk
No.
to the rest of them.
but that's my whole point. It ain't even about talking to them, because if you were really watching what's going on the floor,
so
you
it's about
you would-
doing, about being out there.
If
And
you not even being out there, though.
Okay.
But if people really had a problem with people excessively talking, they would have came to you about that way before they came to you about me and Elliot.
Mhm.
Because we've never sat in the same spot for more
Right.
than 15 minutes. That's excessive for us.
But I
But
can't.
they've
I
been there
can't answer to
45
that.
minutes to an hour. But I'm telling you what I
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
and I'm telling you what I can prove. And I keep telling y'all, I don't start running my mouth until I know I can prove it. That's I don't know what else to say. Let me know what's excessive. I will not cross that line. But to tell me that there's no issue with the work,
I don't know. We don't know because we're not.
but that's
Again,
my
we're
point.
not-
If that
Yeah.
if they were that bothered that him and I talk too much,
Yeah.
you don't think that when they came to you as a manager, they would be like, and the reason I'm saying to you this is because when I need them, they're not available, or the job is not being done.
Or maybe
I mean-
they don't feel like they can approach you because you're talking. I don't know.
And we've
I
had
don't
those
know.
conversations from when I first got back. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
They, whatever you need, holler at me. So, and again, did they tell you that I appear unapproachable? Was that, because that would have been a complaint too then.
Yeah.
Because they're talking and they're unapproachable when they're talking. Was that a complaint?
No.
So again, what's the problem? They were not unapproachable. When they approach us, we do exactly what's asked of us with no kickback.
Yeah.
Nothing. But people can sit here for 45 minutes to an hour and not even look at their side. And it's mum. But, all right, I'll let him know that we're not going to talk.
Anything else?
No, Hamadi, that's not what we're saying. And we said,
No,
said
you don't
the
realize
same thing
it.
to Elliot too.
Again, Jenny, people don't hear themselves. And I tell you that because I had to go back. I went through a lot of shit.
No, you're right. A lot of times people don't see themselves. You're
And I've been
absolutely right.
and they don't hear themselves either. When
Yeah.
I tell you that the conversations, you would be surprised at things that people actually say out their mouth that they don't even know that they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insane, the things that people say to other people, and they don't realize. A lot of times they think they're saying it, and it comes right out their mouth, and they don't even know it. If the person you're talking to doesn't act a certain way, you're not even none the wiser. And by then, it's too fucking late. And I'm telling you, let me know whatever you want. I'll do it because this is just weird to me.
I think for us, you know, even with Elliot, like, it was just a point to say be mindful of
And
how
that's the
much you're
thing.
talking. Like,
We are.
and for me,
But
and that's all. That's the message we wanted to. We weren't trying to get anybody in trouble. We're just saying that.
But you're telling us to be mindful of what when you can't give us what's the bar? Because right now, what you're giving me is a floating scale.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
listen,
so-
you're right about
so,
that. There is
see, the
no
way the human brain
objective.
works-
There is no objective number. You're correct
So
about that.
how can I deliver without an
But-
objective, John? If
But I
don't
think it's
have
just
a
common
barometer-
sense.
No, it's
right?
not common sense because what's common sense to you ain't common sense to somebody else.
Well, I think you know.
No,
again,
look,
like
no, seriously, because
Yeah.
remember something,
Mhm.
bro. There are places where people think that it's okay to do certain things that we think are insane
Right.
in Western civilization,
Right.
and to them it is just the righteous way to live. But
Right.
we think it's crazy, right?
Yeah, but I think that's
So
I think that's an extreme
No,
example.
it's not really
though.
extreme because guess what? Look around. You
Yeah.
work with some of those people.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to be more because if you say that to somebody,
Yeah.
to them, what's extreme or what's I'm sorry, what was you said? Common
Excessive?
sense.
Oh,
No,
common sense.
common sense.
Mhm.
You're totally different with just down to common sense. Again, that's a floating scale.
Right.
So if you want something done, and I understand it's the workplace, tell me where that line is. I don't cross it because right now what you're telling me is you're telling me to basically what? Use my judgment what I think is excessive.
Yeah.
But clearly people think that it's already excessive, even
Right.
though what they see with that is not excessive.
Mhm.
Even though in one person they can say they've ever seen us talk that long,
Mhm.
ever, and not move from the side that we weren't supposed to be on. Why are they talking to management supervisors?
Mhm.
Never. So I need something that I know that once I get here, this is what they're telling me not to cross over.
Right.
Because right now it's like this, and then what happens? I jump and get stuck because the bar gets moved tomorrow. I need. Let me know what you need. I'll do it. That's what I get paid for. I've been saying that the whole time. I'm not trying to be argumentative or any of that, but you got to tell me what you want, and you just can't tell me that people are saying this. But saying this what? So what they deem is excessive. But again, if we're doing this when all the beds are clean, the gym is back in order. Not only that, this is between what, 9, 10? It's the biggest time of the day. 12. When Kenny gets in the first place he goes. So we're doing this on the slowest times of the day. But during crunch time, but I don't hear nobody complaining about that. And that don't make sense to me. And I don't hear anyone complaining about the quality of work we're doing, but I've heard people complain about the quality of work from other people. As a matter of fact, we know for a fact, still to this day, there were certain therapists that won't go to certain individuals on the team because of their work ethic and their quality of work. And this has been consistent for the 10 years we've been here. Now, when you tell me I'm talking too much, but there's no issue with my work, and there are people who have had no change in their quality of work record in the whole time we've been here, what are you really saying to me? Because you can't tell me that my job's suffering right now. All you can tell me is that people don't like that I'm talking to him too much. But then you want to say, oh, it's not about him. But then, oh, well, it really is about him because, you know, that's the guy you talk to all the time. So what? If I start talking to him, is that going to become an issue too next?
Only if it's a pattern.
Okay. You don't see this. You start talking to him every day. You got it. Anything else?
No,
All right. And there you have it. It is what it is. It ain't too much to say, but this is the very beginning of a long process because, as I said, I spent the last 3 years and I did this every day. Every time I had a meeting, whether it was Jennifer Gallinaro, John Salvatore, Fiona Moore, Deborah Newman, these are the links that I had to go to to prove what was actually happening to me, what was being said, and what 1199 outright refused to do about it. And fortunately for me, New York State is a one-party state, which allowed me to record these things to protect myself, because clearly NYU has turned into the synagogue of Satan. But yeah, on that note, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a wonderful day, and as I always say, realize, 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 and transparency forces accountability. So y'all keep your eyes to the stars and keep that head on a swivel. And as I say, it's a dirty, dirty, dirty game out here. But you gotta learn to keep these demons in check. And if you don't learn to bet on yourself, you ain't gonna never win. Cause no. Y'all should have left me the fuck alone.
Another day, another receipt. And trust me, everyone's gonna get their turn to be able to sit in the spotlight